how I think The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will go. Listen very carefully. This is going to be a few parts video. I'm going to start off slow, okay? Because I've been trying to do it fast and it's not working. Alright, listen, here we go. This is how it goes. Starts off, Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, they're in college, okay? Peter works at the Daily Bugle to help fund his college and to help Aunt May out because Uncle Ben's no longer alive. Peter Parker did have a scholarship. He did not apply for the full scholarship because he didn't have enough time because he was out being Spider-Man and saving the day and stuff. And Gwen Stacy applied for the full-time scholarship because she could, and she got accepted because she's smart. Not necessarily smarter than Peter, but Peter just didn't do it because he couldn't because he was being Spider-Man. So Peter's working at the Daily Bugle and for his college, for his apartment, and for Aunt May. And he's making he's making money with J. Jonah Jameson and stuff. Alright, that's established. Gwen Stacy does work at Oscorp. Peter doesn't like her working there, but she does anyway. That's established. There it is, right there. Let's keep moving. Peter goes to the Daily Bugle one day because J. Jonah Jameson has something going on. Something's going on downtown at the bank or something. Someone's robbing something. So, Peter goes there, and then J. Jonah Jameson's like, hey, take Brock with you. And he's like, Brock, and then they talk, and then they're going, and then they're talking, and then they find out about their parents working together in the in Oscorp, right. You understand what I'm saying so far? I hope I'm not moving too fast for you, okay? I hope I'm not moving too fast for you. So then they go to the bank robbery, and then Peter is like taking pictures, and then Peter separates from Eddie Brock, and he gets inside of Spider-Man, fights off some bad guys, saves the day. He sees Shocker in there. Shocker is robbing the bank, but he stops him. And you know what I'm saying? He goes to jail. You know what I'm saying? And then then Peter comes out, and then Eddie's like, "Where'd you go, man?" And Peter's like, "Went inside to get some pictures." And Eddie's like, "Why didn't you take me?" And Peter's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I damned him down." You know, that's what he says. That's exactly the words, because he messes up in front of Gwen. He can mess up in front of Eddie too. You know what I'm saying? So then they're talking, and then they keep talking about their parents and stuff. And then Peter's like, "My girlfriend works at Oscorp, so maybe she can hook something up, and we can go there and we can find some stuff out, or maybe she can find some stuff out for us." And then he calls her up, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll find some stuff out." Then later that day, she comes to his apartment, and Eddie and Peter are already there, and and they're looking stuff up. And then she's telling stuff. She's like, "Hi, Eddie, I'm Gwen." He's like, "Ooh, Peter, your girlfriend's hot." And he's like, "Thank you." And then they're talking, and then she tells him some stuff that she found out about, a little bit of stuff. And he's like, "Can you sneak some files or something?" And then she's like, "No, I can't do that. Of course I can." And then Peter's like, "Okay." And then that night he's like, "Well, Spider-Man can." And then Spider-Man sneaks into Oscorp. You know what I'm saying? He sneaks in, and then Gwen's already there. He didn't know. He's like, "Well, Gwen's here this time of the night. Why is she here? I don't know. Whatever." So then he's sneaking around, and then he goes to he's looking around, and he gets on the computer. He types in his dad's name, and then he types in Eddie's dad's name. Then he comes up with the Symbiote. Then he goes and he looks, and he's looking through stuff. He's sneaking through stuff, and then then he sees this vault. He goes to this room. It has this vault, and then he opens the vault because he's Spider-Man. He's super smart. And then in the vault it has the files, and then it has this bag when something's in the bag, and he grabs the bag and he looks inside, and it's this black stuff in this huge this vial, and he's like, "What is this?" And he's looking through the files, and then all of a sudden he hears, it's an alarm. An alarm went off. So he's hearing the alarm, and he's like, "Whoa, I didn't trigger any alarms." And he has a bag with him, so he puts the vial in his bag, and he puts this vial of the black goo, because he doesn't know what it is, in the bag too. And then he gets on the wall, and he's climbing through lasers and stuff, and then he's on the ceiling, and he sees some guards running past him, and he's like trying to make sure that he's not caught, because he doesn't want to be caught, because Gwen is there, and he just does. Spider-Man doesn't want to be caught. You know what I'm saying? So then he's like crawling on the ceiling, crawling, and then he sees the vent that he went in, and it's open. But he's like, "I closed the vent behind me," so he opens the vent back, and he's climbing through the vents, about to get out, and all of a sudden he hears shooting. He hears gun, stop, he's like, "What the heck is going on?" So then he looks through the vent, and it's this woman, like a woman. He's like, "What the heck?" It's not a black woman, but it's a woman in black with white hair jumping around, and it's gunshots, and she beating butt. She beating people's butt, and he like, "Oh crap, look at you, girl, beating butt, you beating butt, dang." And she disarming people, all Catwoman like, but she's not Catwoman. and he's like, just like, what the heck? And she has a bag, and she's like flipping around, and she's saying some witty stuff. She's kicking people in the face, being all seductive like, and he's like, ooh, ooh. And then a light shines up, and it's and he's like, and it's a light, and he's like, Spider-Man, get him. And then he's like, whoa, guys, and he says something witty, and then he jumps down, and he's like, listen, I don't understand what's going on here, but you've got the wrong guy. And then they aim the guns at him, and he's like, well. And then he jumps out the way, and the girl's looking at him like, ooh, it's the spider. And then they start fighting. You know, they're fighting back to back. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then they beat everybody, and she's like, ooh, we need to do this more often. He's like, not really, but who are you and why are you here? She's like, I can ask you the same thing. She's like, and he's like, but you already know who I am. I don't know who you are. She's like, the name's Cat, Black Cat. And there's this window behind her, and she's like, well, I gotta go. And then she just jumps off, and he's like, whoa, wait! He goes up, she's gone. He's like, whoa. Then there's more guards coming, and he's like, it's a spider. And they start shooting. He's like, well, I have to go. He jumps out the window and swings off. Swings off. So then when he gets home, he looks at the files, and he's like, what the heck? What the heck? Whoa, whoa, what the heck? Whoa, whoa, what the heck? Symbiote. What is this? Came from space in the 90s.
John
Jameson Jr. was an astronaut that brought the symbiote down in 1991, and then when he brought it down, the symbiote went to Oscorp, and it was alive, and his parents worked on it. Him and Eddie Brock's parents worked on it. What? Oh my God! I have to call Eddie. We have to talk to Mr. Jonah Jameson. We have to find out what's going on now.
But then he's all like, how am I going to explain this to Eddie? I mean, Spider-Man's the one that broke into the Oscorp building, and how am I going to be able to tell him that I found all this out? And then he gets this idea. What if I say I Googled it? And that's precisely what happens. So he tells Eddie that he Googles everything, and Eddie buys it because Peter's his friend. And Peter's a trustful person.
So, Peter, Eddie, talk about it. Go to Jonah Jameson, talk about it with him. He doesn't know. He's like, well, do you have pictures? And Peter's like, yeah, I have pictures here. Well, now, can we talk to your son or something? And Jonah's like, I like both of you. I like you a lot. You make me money. You make me a lot of money. He's saying something funny. He's like, so is that a yes? And he's like, yes, now bring me more pictures, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, okay. And then later that day, Eddie and Peter talk to
John
Jameson, and they're talking to him, and he's telling them about stuff, and he's like, yeah, well, we brought it down, it was alive, I don't know what's going on, I didn't know, Oscorp got it, I didn't know, they didn't tell me anything else, but if you find out something, can you call me, let me know, and I'll tell you if I find out anything, whatever. Yeah, okay, sure, alright. So then Eddie and Peter, they're hanging out, and then more crime was happening, so then Spider-Man's go saving the day again. Then he sees Shocker, Peter's with Eddie, and then Peter he's like, Eddie, hold on, I have to go to the restroom, because he sees sirens coming, and then they're in a restaurant or something, and they're talking about something, or at a diner or something, and they're talking about something. He's like, I have to go to the bathroom real quick, I'll be right back. And then Peter puts on the spider suit, swings over, following the cars, and then they're at a place, they're at like a jewelry store, and it's this guy, and this Peter swing sent down, and he's like, oh goodness, it's you again? What do they call you? And he's like, the name's Shocker. And he's like, whoa, and says something witty. He's like, whoa, man, you need to realize that you can't keep breaking out of jail and doing all this stuff, It's not good for the environment. And then Shocker's like, your mouth isn't good for the environment. And then Peter says something like, oh, never mind. No, I believe that's your breath. And then Shocker's like, ah! And he's like Spider-Man's moving out the way. He's like, if you want to steal all this jewelry, the best way to do it is not to blow it everywhere. And then Shocker's like, shut up! And then Spider-Man webs his hands up, and he's like, oh, I can't get out. And then, Peter's like, well, see you later. And the police are like, Spider-Man, get him! And then Spider-Man's like, no! And swings away, waving, saying something witty, Then he swings back to Eddie, and Eddie's sitting there, and he's like, hey, bro. He's like, where'd you go? What did you do? He's like, he's like, okay, alright. And then Peter's like, yeah. So then they're talking about college, and then Eddie's like, so what college you go to? And then Peter tells him, and then Eddie's like, really? Oh, I don't go to college. I'm working at the Bugle, as you know that, and then I'm doing some other stuff. He's like, what are you doing? Well, I'm MMA fighter. And then he's like, what, you're an MMA fighter? He's like, yeah. He's like, I was wondering, you were kind of big. He's like, yeah, oh no. I want to go pro, man. I want to go pro. And then Peter's like, you could do that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. That's very good, man. It's very good. You could do it. And then Eddie's like, thanks, bro. Thanks. And then, then he's like, well, I got to go. Because his phone went off. He's like, I got to go. It's the girl calling. And then Peter's like, you got a girl? He's like, yeah. Foxiest woman you'll ever know. And then Peter's like, I bet. He's like, all right, see you later, Pete. All right, man. So then Peter's swinging, and he goes home. He's exhausted, and he goes sleep. And when he goes to sleep, he starts dreaming about Uncle Ben and that night. And he's like, if I didn't, it's like he replays everything, him running away, him slamming the door, and Uncle Ben looking for him, and then he goes back to that part when he hears that gunshot and turns around and it's Uncle Ben on the ground. And he's like, Uncle Ben, oh my God. And then he remembers him, like chasing after people that killed his uncle, and he remembers all of that. And then the camera showing Peter like tossing and turning in the bed, and he's like, and he does that in his sleep, and he knocks over the vial that was right next to his bed that had the symbiote on it, and the symbiote falls on the ground. It's just on the ground, dormant, just like laying there. And Peter's like, and wakes up. He's like, Then he gets up and he steps his foot off the bed, and he steps in the symbiote and walks over into his bathroom, looks into the mirror, puts his hands, he turns on the water, runs water on his hands, runs water on his face, looks at himself in the mirror, rubs water on his face, and then every time he does it, so it's like it's the symbiote's growing up his leg and going up. So then he's like, first time he does it, it's like regular hands, then he does it again, and then it's like stuff, it's like black on his face, and he's like, and he looks at himself, and then it's like completely black, and he's like, oh, what the heck? And he's like, what's going on? What is this? Oh, ooh. Oh man. And he looks out the window, and then he jumps on it, and he's like, and he closed the window, and he jumps out, and he starts like jumping, and he's like, whoa, yeah, woo, yeah, whoa. Then he jumps, and it's like this really long bit, and he jumps. He's like, why did I jump? I don't have my web shooters. I don't have my... Whoa, and it makes its own web! Oh my God! What is this? And he's swinging, and it makes its own web, and he's like, what is this? And my powers must be growing or something. Oh my goodness. And he's swinging, 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 and he sees these people, this woman being held up in an alley, and he's like, he remembers, nope, that happened to Uncle Ben, it's not happening to anyone else. And he swings down there, and the guy looks at him, he's like, it's the spider freak. And he's like, listen, you better back up or I'll blow her head off. And he's like, and pulls the gun out, and he pulls the guy close, and he's like, doom, like one big punch, like, and the guy's all bloody. She's like, thank you, Spider-Man, nice clothes. And he's like, thanks. And webs jump, woo, woo, woo. Then it's this woman walking down the street, and then it's this semi truck coming out of control, and Spider-Man's looking at it, and he's like, whew, I can stop that. I can do it. He's not thinking about saving the woman. He's thinking, that woman's in danger. Instead of me saving the woman, how about I do something different? I can stop the truck. So he runs up to it, and he jumps, and he webs the front of the truck. He webs it, and he does a flip, pulls the truck completely over, so the semi does this. And then Spider-Man's on the other side, like, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I just do that? Oh man, he goes to the driver, and he's like, hello? He's like, and there's no driver. And he's like, what's going on? and then he looks down the street, and it's this explosion, and he's like, what the heck? And he swings over, and it's Shocker again. And then Spider-Man's like, I'm getting a little bit tired of you doing all this crap. Okay, I'm sick of it. You're going to jail whether you like it or not, and you're staying. And he's like, oh, Spider-Man, I like your clothes. It's not gonna be able to save you though. Thought you might be around here. It was a trap. I trapped you. And then Spider-Man's like, I'm done. And he shoots him. And Spider-Man starts like, because he has Symbiote and that's Sonic. He's like, oh my goodness. Roar! Like, because the Symbiote is now enraged, so it's like, roar! And he swings up to Shocker, and he's like, I'm sick of you. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. And, it's like he's beating the crap out of Shocker. He's like, you're going to jail, and you're staying in jail, and you're not coming out, and you're staying in jail, and I'm sick of you. Who do you work for? And Shocker's like, he's like, boom, who do you work for? And he's like, oh, okay, leave me alone. He's like, what? Speak English. And he's like, the big man. Who's the big man? You don't need to know about the big man. You don't understand, Spider-Man. And he's like, stop rhyming! I'm sick of it! You're going to prison! I'm tired of you thugs on the streets doing whatever you think you can do! This is not the place for that! There are normal people trying to live their own lives, and you are trying to ruin them and take lives away from them! You are not what this city needs! And then he webs them, and he's like mad, he's like, ah! And he breaks like the side of this building, like it's like a band or something, and he breaks it, and he's mad. And he's like, people like him are ruining this city. People like him are ruining the lives of people in this city. That woman would have been dead if it wasn't for me. I'm sick of people like this. People that take other people's family members. People. The person that took Uncle Ben. And then he's like starting to go crazy, and he's like, why did I stop? Why did I stop? That person had no right to take Uncle Ben from me. He doesn't have a right at all. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get the person that took Uncle Ben away from me and not me. He didn't deserve that. Nobody. He has no right to take the right from no right to take the life of anybody, especially not my Uncle Ben. I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna find him. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to find him. That will be the end of part 1 of what I think will happen in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Stay tuned for part 2 when I talk about what will happen in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, part 2. So this is the symbiote. This is the black suit. How the black suit is introduced, okay? This is the black suit. If you like what I'm saying, if you like my ideas, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you also like the ideas. If you like me, if you like Spider-Man, if you like video game news, because I'm going to be doing more video game stuff on this channel also. I'm going to be branching out. Like I've been saying, I'm going to be branching out even more. I'm going to be branching out. I'm going to be talking about a lot of more things on this channel. Not only will it be, Spider-Man stuff, it'll be, games. Because I like games, I hope you like games. Do you like games? I love games. I will be giving my opinions. We all be sharing information about video games. We'll be talking about the future of the Xbox, of the PlayStation, of the... What other systems are there? I guess the Nintendo Wii U. No, I'm playing. The Wii U looks pretty cool. The Ouya. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff on the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you like me. Hit the like button if you like me. And as always, I thank you for watching me. Like me on Facebook, like me on Twitter. Well, follow me on Twitter because I made a Twitter, like you guys told me to. I made one. Somebody said make an Instagram, Venom. I'm like, it's a good idea. Maybe I may, maybe I won't. So I'm going to be saying comment, rate, subscribe, guys. As always, I thank you for watching. And peace, guys. Have a good one. Peace. Venom time ain't done. The time come back. I promise you. It ain't gonna be the main Spider-Man though. Not one. No. Peace.